Okay. Looking at this game here. It's Poke versus me. Okay. Yep. I like all this. Seems good. Unfortunate, but that's alright. 2 more ants. Freeze your apple. Make sure you're freezing apples, because we never want to buy honey. Honey sucks. We don't ever want to buy it on, turns 1, 2, or 3, usually. An apple you are buying on turn 3 if your tier ups hit, pets that are worth scaling, then you can just, put apples. So, cool. I probably front. I don't know. It's awkward. That's fine. But yeah, freeze the apple. This is my note there. Other than that's fine. Yeah, it's hard to win this round. Oh, we get the draw though, which is good. Good ant hits. So we have 2 triples to take. Yep, we got rabbit and we got a dog or beaver. So we're going beaver badger. I always say beaver instead of badger. Okay, this is good. You can for sure consider the snail. Especially since new snail is attack, and you have a rabbit, you are going to have a lot more health than you will attack in this game. Just because of the nature of rabbit. Right? So because you have rabbit, you're just going to have too much health this entire game. Which is fine. I mean, too much is a weird term. You're going to have a weird, unequal amount of health and attack. So I think just ripping the snail is also just fine. Because you're eventually going to lose rounds. So for the same reason old snail was a just always taken on turns 3 and 4. Because it was just, always useful. New snail is if you have a board where it's okay, I know I'm going to have a lot of health, then you should be taking snail. Or if you have something that benefits more from attack. Badger does benefit more from having more attack. So even, without the rabbit, you still consider it. Or Dodo. Dodo, it wants attack. So just taking snail's good. Ox has so much health, right? Because melon gives it essentially a lot more health, but in a different sort of way. It effectively has more health. And the thing it's always missing is attack. So just taking, if you have, any of these 4 units, rabbit, ox, dodo, or badger, you should just take your snails. Pretty much the same as you would take old snail. Okay. I don't like this. I don't like this. The only time I take worm, literally the only time, if there's 2 of them in the shop, then sure. But, is if it, in my starting shop, I have a worm, and then I tear up into a rabbit, then I'll maybe take it, but even then it doesn't feel good. Worm just never feels good to me. It's because it just ends up making you more inclined to be buying apples on turns where you probably shouldn't be buying apples. This is good for next turn, but then after that, it's a bad swan. It's here I would much rather just take the flamingo. Because then we can just get a pill, and that gives us, 2 turns of worm value for cheaper than what the worm will give us. Because the worm's to get the first stats out of it, it's costing you 5 total gold. To get stats out of this, it's 4, and you get more stats than the worm. What the crap? What is happening? Okay, that was crazy. But yeah, there I definitely don't take the worm. I either take the flamingo or the peacock. Probably just the flamingo. We already have a buff target in the badger. So we just don't really need, to go with anything else. We lose that round. Yeah, 2 gold apple. Okay. I would sell ant here. Generally, you want to save your pigs for you're either usually selling it on turn 3 or turn 5. Obviously, there's situations, but if you have another pet you can sell, the ant here, you should just sell the ant instead of selling the pig. Just because the gold gets more valuable the later in the game you go, right? Because the pets you can find are more valuable. So if you save the gold for one more turn, then you're getting a power spike on turn 5, which is a stronger turn than on turn 4. You know. It's kind of like taking tier ups. Okay, we find a pill. I don't like pilling this ant. I can see we're grabbing the pill, and I know exactly why, and it's because we want to pill the ant. But we need to kind of look at our board here. Badger would be a good hit. Rabbit would be an okay hit. This is a base stat level 1 Swan. We're going into turn 5. We don't really want to buff it. Worm's a terrible unit. We don't really want to buff it. It's also base stats and level 1 on turn 4. So going into turn 5, you know, we don't have tier ups. We have one good hit for the Badger, and the rest of the things are all bad hits. So it's like we're spending 3 gold to buy a randomized pair that is probably going to hit a bad unit. And the reason I say we're spending 3 gold is because this ant sells for 2. So by pilling it, we're spending this stored gold. Like, honestly, here, I would just sell the ant, buy the flamingo, and pill the flamingo. Because that you can guarantee goes on the 2 units that you're like, these units I'm keeping. You know, the rabbit you're probably keeping for a while. The badger you're definitely keeping for a while. It's your buff target. And it's the exact same price. No, it's not. It's a little bit more expensive. It's 1 extra gold, but this has a 1 in, you know, a 3 out of 4 chance of being bad. Okay, it hits like a fine target, which is, you know, whatever. It's like we're not ecstatic about it hitting the rabbit, but we're okay with it. I don't freeze this going into turn 5. It's like it feels pretty late. But I guess what else are we looking for? I think if you're doing this, you just sell the worm and buy it. Because, like, yeah, if we want the swan, we just take the swan, but I don't want the worm, you know? Oh, we sell flamingo. No, sell. Okay, worm is bad. You are, because you played 2 different worms in this little set of games that we played too. Worms are bad. Terrible units. Terrible, horrible units. Like, I don't take worms. Yeah, it's very rare for me to take worms. And I never feel good when I do. It's pretty much just if I hit, like, 2 of them. So then I'm like, okay, I can pretty easily get the triple. Because, like, level 2 worm is good. Level 2 worm is, like, pretty decent. Level 1 worm is terrible. It's, like, just a bad unit. Anyway. Apple, that's fine. But, like, at this point, the apples aren't even that good, right? It's like we wouldn't be buying normal apples. It's like a 1 discounted gold apple is, like, also meh, you know? We can find salads at this point, which is a much better use of our gold. We can find cakes at this point. No, yeah. We can find cakes at this point, which is like a way better use of our gold. Okay, perfect. We sell worm. I'm happy with that. I'm not a fan of squirrel. Skunk is like just a premium unit. You know, like, I get that you're doing it for like the rabbit synergy, but it's like a weird restrictive swan, because it's like if you're not freezing things in the shop, then it's like likely to hit bad things. You know, there's like 3 things you would maybe want for it to hit, and the rest of the hits are all bad. So it's like, yes, squirrels just don't feel that great because it's like hard to play with them. You have to like either freeze stuff in your shop, or you're just gonna risk it and probably get bad hits. Skunks, on the other hand, your opponent's always going to try and scale things. That's the whole, especially in Turtle Pack. So if you know I'm going to scale something eventually, right? Like, I'm going to have health on my board. I'm just going to. That's how the game works. So the skunk will get value. It's like skunks, I think you can just preemptively take. We end up getting 2 good things frozen, so that's fine. Yeah. But again, now I'm scaling, which like you could kind of predict is going to happen. And so now it's like pretty awkward, but I probably, okay, well, realistically, I probably sell this squirrel before I rip that salad, just because I want to isolate so that it can't hit the squirrel, because I don't care that much about having the squirrel, and I don't want the salad to hit it, so I just sell it. That way the salads can't hit it, they can hit, you know, I don't want them to hit the giraffe, but the giraffe's gonna give me value, so we don't want to sell the giraffe. The garlic's fine. I definitely prefer Cake, especially on this patch with Rabbit. And we do find Cake. We'll just put on the Swan, which is fine enough, but, we'd rather have the health on a useful unit. And this, we're also missing out on a stat that we could just sell the Squirrel, If we sell the Squirrel and take this on board, then we're getting an extra apple. And we still get the option to sell the Giraffe later. Again, I just don't like Giraffe. I also probably freeze this Cake. I think I like it way more than the Garlic. Because it gives us passive scaling. And passive scaling is really good. Okay, we find Turtle. It's really good. Yeah, see here, our Squirrel gave us no value. Because we're not buying any of that. So, it was just kind of a wasted spot on our board. And we end up selling it anyway. Okay, yeah. It's fine. Okay, pill. Good. That works out. I definitely take this other turtle. You can just take the turtle, put it in front of your Swan. Because Swan will still get its Cake value, and then it'll get a turtle on it. This works. We end up hitting triples, which is good. Buff, yep, good. And, we have a turtle pill in the shop. We definitely freeze it. If you have a turtle pill in the shop, you're 100% freezing it. You can find a way to make it get on board. Yeah, see, here now we really wish we had a skunk. But instead we had a Squirrel for a couple turns and then sold it, right? Because it just wasn't doing much for us, and we recognized that and got out of the unit. If we still had it, then, we would be countering this unit way easier. But now we're struggling. So here, yeah, you buy the Badger. Oh, you take the level. Okay. I mean, we don't need to take that yet. I guess unless you're buying the Penguin. Let me see what you do here. Because depending on what you do, I either do or don't like that choice. But it depends. Okay, we're rolling. So we had no reason to take that triple. Taking the triple makes it more awkward to position the Giraffe, right? Because it's level 2, so now we either have to front the Swan, which is hard to get value out of, and then second the Badger, and then third the Giraffe to get maximum stats, or we have to have the Badger kill the Swan, which also feels bad. So both of those feel bad, and also it's turn 8, so we don't need to take it yet, and we don't have anything in the shop that we're actually buying, right? So if we hit 2 bad things from the tier up, then we just combine for no reason. So we could have just bought this and then rolled. I'm fine with taking this tier up, but only if you have something to buy. And this, you just don't need this on board. You can just stack it. I would have rather had the Giraffe. Okay, we end up finding another. That's fine. Yeah, but also we're never winning this turn. I think we, can pretty easily tell that we're not going to win this turn. I might be wrong, but I feel like you can predict that you probably won't win this turn, and so therefore you can just position in a way where you get the stats. Because I imagine we're never winning this turn. Yeah, no, we're not. It's with knowing that you're not going to win the turn, you can just greed the Giraffe stats. Because you have to evaluate your opponent's board, and if you don't have a chance of winning, then you can just be greedy. Right? You don't need to play for the win. You can play for whatever is best long term. And at this point, we are in desperate need of skunks. So we take Cat. Cat I'm okay with here, right? I do hate taking it on 1 life because it's we're so likely to just die. But I have 5 lives, so you do have to compete with me somehow. And Cat is a good way. General rule with Cat: if you're on 6 lives, take it. 6 lives total in the game, which we are, so it's fine. But at this point, we are in desperate need of skunks and other things that could be useful. No. It's turn 9. Salads, I'm taking on turns 5, turn 6. I'm not taking them on turn 9. It's just not worth. I guess we have a cat. Actually, yeah, we do have a cat. Never mind. I forgot we have a cat. Cat on board, that's fine. But also we need to roll for things that will make us win the round, because realistically, this just probably isn't getting us there, at this point, I guess you could maybe trade through me, and if you do, it's good. But yeah, I don't know. Don't freeze this. It's turn 9. Like taking another rabbit isn't really good. I know we're planning on buying food, but we're also buying a lot of spread food, and we don't want it to hit the rabbit, right? Because we'll have to have this rabbit on board. So we just, but it's like also hard to win this round even. Yeah, and the game's just over. Definitely some things to work on there. Like kind of just unit evaluation. Like my main problems with this game was the worms and the squirrels. Like they just kind of made the game awkward. And then there were like some decisions at the end here, but yeah, the main things like worms, I just don't like them. And then squirrels are also just bad. They're both just kind of bad units. They're like not that good of econ because they're very restrictive econ. It's like econ, but only with bad foods on this guy, and then this guy's like econ, but usually on bad foods, which just doesn't feel good. Even with a rabbit, it's like, Also, I think like maybe there's a little bit of an overcommitment to rabbit. Like it's a level 1 rabbit. It's not actually getting you that much stats. But like here we froze another rabbit because we're like, oh, we have rabbit. But like rabbit's not doing that much for us here. The thing that matters for food is cat. Rabbit's like not important. We need to get more units that'll win us the game. Yeah. But it's also a hard game. I mean, I hit pretty well.